Welcome back to the program. Looks like we've got some sound there. Just want to make sure very quickly before we get too far down the road. And everybody's like, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. So let me just double check and see if that comes up now. All right. Well, you can be quiet out there now, Spotty. Dog's making noise. All right. For some reason, this chat, it's not coming up here. I don't see it under my channel. I'll try it one more time. Can you guys hear me? Liz, let me know if you can hear us. There it is. Okay. Finally got it.
You don't need a second job.
No, I have an advert. I don't need an advert. I don't need a second job. I don't need an advert. I need you to stop playing. There we go. Okay.
You don't need a second job.
There we go. Okay, we can hear. All right, good to go. All right, folks, welcome back to the program. Thanks for letting us know. Hey, listen, I'm here in the Midlands with journalist and author Warren Holden. How are you doing?
Good, thank
Did I
you.
get it last name? I get it pronounced correctly.
That's correct, Holden. Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. So Warren has recently started a YouTube channel, so I want to talk to him a little bit about his YouTube channel. He's published in the past as a journalist. He's a film guy, I think. Wasn't that your original
that's right.
intent?
Yeah. Originally, I was planning and hoping on being the next big film director, next Spielberg or Kubrick or whatever, but that's not how things panned out.
Okay, well, that's why I haven't seen your movies. I mean,
Exactly, yeah.
probably because I've been watching Leon Schuster reruns too. That's part of my problem. Either that or the gods must be crazy.
Oh.
Anyway, so that one goes back quite a ways.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the program, folks. Excuse me. So Warren and I just came from the meet and greet here. It was in Howick. That was pretty nice, wasn't it?
It was good.
Yeah, I think we had about 30 people total, if I count correctly.
Right, yeah.
I don't have Common Core math skills, so sometimes I get it wrong. But listen, I thought maybe we should do a quick, since we're together, physically, rather than doing it over the electrons, over the ocean, do a quick meet and greet here, or not meet and greet, but a quick conversation, a little bit about what your focus is, not what you did in journalism, but now that you've moved into the social media realm,
Right.
what are you focused on? Are you a leftist? Are you a conservative? Where do you put yourself?
I suppose politically, I would consider myself center-right.
Center right. Okay. Well, that
More or
sounds
less.
a lot like me.
Yeah, I think judging from your content, I think we're more or less on the same page on most things.
Then I guess we're done talking. There's,
Yeah,
there's
that's it.
nothing
It is.
controversial here. Thanks for watching, folks. Be sure to hit the like button. No, seriously, go ahead.
So with my channel, the main focus is I'm not so much a breaking news kind of guy. I like to analyze stories from a cultural and historical perspective.
Okay, so maybe like what happened in KZN with Dingane and the Four Trekkers.
Yeah.
You might look at the implications of that and how it unfolded.
How it unfolds today, or look at current events in the light of past events. Like, for example, a recent video was looking at the current national government and comparing them against the first governments of the Union of South Africa in 1910.
1910. Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of bringing everything that's going on today, the political developments, etc., in a broader context, which is historical context of the country itself, and specifically of the West, because that's my paradigm. I come from the Western part of the world, really, and I call my
You're an African.
yeah,
I mean, you're born here.
yes,
Okay.
but I call my channel Scatterling of Albion.
Yes, that's
Yes.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
so-
That's why if you're looking for it, you won't find it under his name.
Correct. Yes. So it's Scatterling of Albion, and that's basically just a reference to the fact that yes, I am
Well,
African.
I did watch your video the other night when I was walking back. I was trying to make sure I didn't get mugged with my phone walking down the street in Cape Town. I was watching it. Now I remember I did watch the video the other night.
I think you mentioned the Badenoch one. I think.
Yes, that's yeah. That's right. I was trying not to get mugged, so it slipped my mind that it was his video I was watching.
Right. Yeah. So that's a prime example of the fact that I mainly keep it South African focused, but then I do the occasional international story because I'm interested in what's happening in the UK in particular. I regard that as a kind of second country for me. And of course, what's happening in the US, because that sets
Affects
up
everything.
for everything.
It does. I mean, look, people, whether they like the U.S. or not, you have to be honest and admit, geopolitically, the U.S. sets the table, whether they want to or not.
Absolutely.
Our inaction sets the table. Our action sets the table. It's just because we're the biggest guy on the street. I mean, although China's trying to compete with us, they're a long way from being even.
Sure.
When the Chinese reach actual dollar GDP per person on par with the United States, then they can talk to me.
Yeah.
Right now,
Yeah,
they
well,
make
before that
a
happens.
pittance compared to the average American. So let's talk about pick a topic that is apropos for South Africa today. I mean, there's a million of them. We don't have to talk about land expropriation, but pick something that let's elaborate on. We'll chat about it.
Yeah.
Putting him on the spot.
yeah,
Now. We didn't
put
prepare.
the spot. Now my
This
mind
is
goes
totally off the cuff. It's like comedians, man. All right, here's the yellow color and DHL Greenpoint Stadium. Make a joke. Barry Hilton could do that. But anyway, so I put you on the spot. I just gave him an extra 15 seconds to think of a topic. I don't know if he's being clever in thinking of a topic right now, but see, I'm killing time. This is what a host does when you put your guest on the spot. You give him a chance to think something. So if he's clever, he's got a subject. Go.
Well, I think it would be appropriate for both of us since you're American. What a lot of people are talking about at the moment is the Afrikaner refugee topic.
See how he turned that back on me? He's ready to be a host. He turned it right back on me. Now it's my job to answer his questions. It's that nonsense. Anyway, seriously. Yeah, no, the refugee program is apropos. Despite the media reports in South Africa, there are a lot of people in South Africa that are curious about the program, if not interested in actually becoming a refugee to go to the States. And of course, we should mention, I think you've heard of my broadcast, and most of my viewers have, you're not real refugees. The normal definition of refugee, legally accepted internationally, is you flee from your home country to another country where you receive safe haven, and then you apply to either stay there or move on to a third location. And so there are 7.6 million Africans currently registered as legitimate refugees with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in places like Chad, in Uganda, and in Kenya, from Darfur and from South Sudan and Somalia. So there are others, but that's the big numbers. The Afrikaners, whatever that may be. We had this conversation at lunch. Who knows what an Afrikaner is going to be? It's up to the U.S. government to decide. It's not up to you or Senior van Rensburg or to me or to you to say what an Afrikaner is, because we don't hold the legal authority to give people the chance to get out of the country and come to America. The U.S. government will have to decide. But whatever an Afrikaner is, that program is out there. President Trump has offered it, and now we're waiting to see what happens. I mean, so you've been on the ground here. This area is often known as God's waiting room, Howick. So I don't think a lot of people will leave the Howick area to come to the States. Not around here, but I don't know. Do you get out and you talk to people? Is there any discussion? Is anyone talking about this subject?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard from the media, of course, I don't trust the media, but nevertheless, what I've heard from the media and from people that I speak to is either ambivalence, or a lot of people just rubbish it. They think it's a ridiculous idea.
Or they don't believe it's actually going to happen.
Or they don't believe it's going to happen. Yeah, so I guess it's one of those three things. I haven't heard anyone saying, where are the forms that I can fill in?
Thousands of people have told me that. Hundreds in person now, and thousands distance through the channels.
That I can believe. I might not have spoken to them, but I can absolutely believe that they're out there. I don't believe what the media is saying. That's it's irrelevant to us.
Well, there's also another piece of this, Warren, too, and that's, okay, so I don't mean to offend him, but the Afrikaners, I always pronounce it wrong, but I think he's like a Suti, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it isn't for those folks if you just read the Afrikaner definition. But again, we talked about this as well. I would hope that the Trump administration includes ethnic minorities. So, but I mean, right now, a lot of English-speaking South Africans are like, "Hey, what about me?" Indians are like, "Hey, what about me?" And the colors are like, "Hey, don't forget us."
Yeah, and I'm an Anglo, so I'm like, that doesn't apply to me at all. I have no Afrikaner blood, so does that mean if I needed to take advantage of that, would I be left out in the cold? So,
at the moment, we don't know, and it's certainly the question. So let me ask you this. What's it like here in the Midlands? I mean, you're a lot of my audience is in God's waiting room around here. So, but we did have some younger folks come to today's.
That's true, yeah. I think most of them were from outside of Howick.
Correct. So they came here to join us from Durban or from a little further north at Moy River or somewhere like that. But what's it like being a younger South African in the current climate here? Do you find it difficult? I mean, a lot of people in the Western Cape live very comfortably and lovely lives. Iserfontein and Langebaan, and Constantia, Somerset West, lovely places like that. But also people are out on farms, and even people in even some urban areas are victims of crime. There's a lot of pressure. What's it like for you?
Well, I live out in the Midlands, probably about 30 minutes drive outside of Howick, really in the countryside, in farmland, essentially. And I have to say, my experience of it has been, it's idyllic. It's country living. It's quiet. It feels safe, although it's South Africa, so you always know anything could happen at any time. But having said that, I haven't been here that long. Moved from Ballito to this side about 5 months ago.
That's a rough place to live, Ballito. I mean, it's terrible. It's horrible. Don't go there. It's like Wyoming. These aren't the droids you're looking for.
So, I mean,
I keep rubbishing Wyoming. I don't mind moving there because that's my refuge.
Is that where you're from originally? Or?
No, it's really nice in Wyoming.
Yeah, I've seen pictures. So.
Yeah.
Are you from Pennsylvania originally?
No. I lived there as a kid briefly, but I was born in Maryland. I lived all over the country, 34 of the lower 48 before the age of 17.
Right.
So I moved around quite a bit. Actually, it was a crazy childhood, but it helped me out a lot because I was always a new kid, skinny, and you either get bullied or you quickly adapt. And I learned to adapt and also to understand and respect other people because I was always new. So I had to adapt that way. And one of the cool things growing up is that my parents. Now this isn't so cool. We lived in a trailer park. That's not the cool part.
Right.
But when I was a little kid before I started school, we lived in a trailer park in the late 1960s, or it might have been late 19, must have been 69, I think it was, about that time frame. And I was a small kid, and my father was a general contractor, and he worked for someone named Elvis Presley.
Who's that? Never heard of it.
Yeah, and so as a little kid, I ran around Graceland. No beard. And strawberry blonde hair, but I ran around Graceland and I met Elvis Presley, and this before he got big from the medical conditions and the drugs.
That's quite a story.
One of the nicest people I ever met in my life was Elvis Presley. Never forget that. I was heartbroken when he died. I was still a kid, 78. I think he died 77, 78. I was heartbroken. My mom told me about it. One of the few times I cried in life. I definitely cried that day because Elvis died. So anyway, enough of that story. But yeah, so Bolito, it's a tough place. You got to be careful of the taxi gangs down there.
Yeah, it's pretty rough out there.
Yeah, so you've only been up this way a bit. What brought you up to the countryside then? I mean, you're not a farmer.
No, I don't think I'll ever will be.
Say about farming, will never be a farmer except those born into it.
So essentially, I met my wife in Bolito, and when we met, she was making a lot of trips out to the Midlands just for weekends away and that kind of thing. I hadn't really explored it much. I'd driven through it. And so I started coming out here with her.
No, wait. Is your wife an Afrikaner?
She's not.
You're still screwed.
She's also an
still screwed.
Like me. Yeah.
So I tried to help him. Change your name to Mariki, and then
to work on my Afrikaans though. That's the only thing. And she started talking about she would really love to live there. So a couple of months after we were married, we lived in Bolito for a short while, and then we said, let's do it. And we found a place out that side, on the other side of Nottingham Road, and basically we're just trying it out to see how it suits us.
Oh, so you haven't been up here all that long?
Yeah. It was November. Since November was still.
Okay, so it's still a trial sort of thing.
It is very much so.
But it sounds like it's going well. You said it's idyllic.
So far, it's great. Yeah,
that's incredible.
I really have no complaints. It's a beautiful place to live.
Yeah, no, I have to say that. That's the sad thing about South Africa. It's an amazing country. The landscape, the cartography, the human capital. Hello, Michael.
Interruption.
Yes?
It's going to school with you.
Yes, at 3:00. Is it 3:00 yet?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the heads up. We'll be out shortly.
Okay.
that was the warning signal. We got what 300 people watching right now, and we just got 320. Just got the exit state. They got the hook for the show. So listen, we'll do this again, but I didn't want to miss this golden opportunity to get Warren on here to talk about a little bit about South Africa, what's going on. I appreciate 320 people being here today, but I have noticed a downward trend in my views since I've been in South Africa, and I'm attributing that to the fact, number one, there have been 2 holidays, and that's Easter, and then now they got the holiday today. So that's one reason for the viewership going down. But the other reason is I've been telling good news stories. People don't want to hear good news; they just want to hear bad news. So anyway, from Howick. With Warren Holden, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Warren, tell people again where they can find you on YouTube, and I want you all, if you don't mind, at least a portion of you, go over and subscribe to his channel right now. I don't think you'll be disappointed, so let them know.
Yeah, so the channel is called Scatterling of Albion. So just search for that on YouTube, and I'm sure you'll find it pretty easily. And please do take a look if you can, and leave me a comment here and there as well. I'd appreciate that. Thanks.
Now, Warren is just getting started on YouTube. He's accomplished in journalism and other fields, and he's just getting started on YouTube. So maybe I don't want to say you heard him here first, because he's got a few people watching videos, but one of the first places you hear him, is this the first interview you've done like this?
Yeah.
Okay, there, first time. All right, I want all the credit. When he starts making money, I want my cut of the vig. No, but seriously, please go over and check out his channel. I like the interesting take because he talks about the UK, and he talks about South Africa, and there are not a lot of people doing that. Byron Shepherd from Morning Shot also has experience UK and South Africa. He does a little bit of that, but I think that you'll find Warren is doing a pretty interesting aspect on that. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I'll be back at 5 p.m. South Africa time, so that'll be 11 a.m. East Coast time, to talk to Katja Beeden this afternoon about the refugee program and what she says the Amerikaners are experiencing vis-a-vis that program. Anyway, from Howick in the Midlands, thanks for tuning in. I'd say have a great day. I have to put these glasses back on. Being human sucks, man. I'm used to being Superman. It's just a flesh wound, but now I got used to reading glasses. That's going to do it for here, folks. We'll catch you shortly at 5 p.m. and then maybe a little bit later tonight, the news. Cheers.